You're listening to the Flow Friday Sports Show, and it is time to check in with Carla Fletcher from Hume Netball. Carla, what's happening?
Oh, not much here at the moment. It's quite a nice warm day here over in, I'm in Lockhart at the moment, so we're waiting for the rain to come. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, we'll go to Lockhart first, Carla, after a big weekend of netball, and boy, did they hold their own with Jindera visiting, 45-48. Jindera overrunning Lockhart in the end, but what an effort from the Lockhart girls here.
Yeah, look, it was an absolutely cracking game. Lockhart was one up at the first break. They were even at half time, and then Jindera, they were two up going into the last quarter, and it was absolutely full court pressure from both teams. Jinderoo didn't seem to get a run of the game like they usually do due to the pressure of Lockhart. They played a really composed game, and it was an excellent display of shooting from both teams. And then Jinderoo just managed to keep that three-quarter time lead and taking the game by 3 goals.
Now, am I being unfair to Lockhart if I was to spruik the fact that I think perhaps Jindera are starting to take their foot off the gas a little bit and just conserve themselves for that first finals game? Is that showing disrespect to Lockhart, or were Lockhart just brilliant on this occasion? Of course, this is the top team that they were playing, and Lockhart by no means have really secured a final spot yet. So this was either a very good effort from Lockhart, or Jindera just slightly perhaps starting to rest some players and maybe with one eye to finals, just taking it a little bit easier.
No, I think, Jindera only had 8, so they did make a change during the game. But, look, Lockhart, they haven't been playing at the best that they can for the last few weeks, but they really put it together on Saturday against Jindera. Young Emily McPherson in the goal, she had a really strong game, and 2 mid-court players, Beck Matthews and Jade Council, they really ran hard for Lockhart, but the girls just kept sticking to them. And as I said, Jinderoo just couldn't get that flow on the game that they normally do. But look, it just shows that anyone is going to work hard against anyone, and finals are just going to be absolutely amazing.
Now, we'll go to another thriller that took place on the weekend. This is Howlong taking on Osborne, 38-39. The visitors snatching it in the end, Carla. This was an absolute thriller of a game.
Yeah, look, this was the closest game of the round. As you said, Osborne won by 1 goal. Look, Howlong had a really great start to the game, and they were in the lead at quarter time, but look, Osborne just settled and they took a 6-goal lead going into the last quarter, but, Howlong managed to lift themselves, and it was really close in the end, and it was just 1 goal. But Osborne shooters, Lucy Bennett and Karen Hugo, they really stood tall for Osborne, giving them that win, and Howlong, Gemma Coburn and Lily Smith had good games for Howlong.
Now, Henty put up a reasonable effort travelling over to play the Murray Magpies, 55-27 in the end. Obviously, the Murray Magpies too strong, and perhaps they were always going to be, but Henty still in the game somewhat, Carla?
Yeah, look, that's a great performance by Henty, really working hard. Magpies were pretty happy. All their senior grades had a really good win on the weekend. They were a little bit short in players, Magpies, and they had to have a few girls out of position. But their best players were Kira Nicholson in goal defence and Jessica Black in the mid-court, while Melanie Wetton and Taya Andrews were best players for Henty.
Now, CDHBU being overrun in the end by the Billabong Crows girls. So Billabong starting to get some momentum heading into that finals race, Carla.
Yeah, look, and it was, I think the coach said that, they had a little bit of a slow start in the first quarter. The Power girls were kept pretty much with them. However, they found their rhythm in the second half, and, they came away with a pretty good 20-goal win. Paige Maloney directed play in the attack end, and she did some great circle drives into down the court, and she got a best on court performance, while Alana Maloney worked really hard in goalkeeper. And Ava Phibbs Kath Wood and Maddie Stanton had good games for CDHBU.
Now, there was a big game taking place between Holbrook and the Giants. This was 8v9, and in the end, Holbrook too strong, 49-34 for the visitors, Carla.
Yeah, so look, Holbrook was a bit of a stronger team than when Ramble Bundry-Waller played them in the first round, and it was a tough game, the whole game. Ramble Bundry-Waller got to within a few goals in the last quarter. However, Holbrook just wanted it a little bit more, intercepting some loose balls and applying full court pressure and consistent talk down the court. Mel McClellan, one of the Giant shooters, was away for the weekend, but Courtney Trethowne filled in her position and played a really strong game in the circle. And their award winners were Courtney Trethowne, Brianna Higgins and Nikita Clancy, while Holbrook's best players were Claire Marriott in goal attack and their coach Amy Gledhill in goal defence.
Now, the Saints girls most certainly made Calcan work for their mill, this one finishing 50-37, but the Saints, as the visitors here in this game, putting up a very stellar fight.
Yeah, look, and they were only a few goals down going into the third quarter, but unfortunately they just couldn't maintain and keep up the pressure on Colcan, who are a really improved team this year. Best on court for the Saints were Rachel Kazitsky and Mim Dunstan, while Rachel Hensel, Taylor Morey and Olivia Brunner all had great games for Colcan.
Let's take a look at the table. Carla, Jindera still sitting pretty in top spot, but then you've got a very interesting race happening between second and fifth. You've got Osborne in second place, Billabong third, Howlong fourth, Lockhart fifth, and Calcan in sixth spot. And you've still got the Magpies in seventh, somewhat fighting, but it's going to be hard for them. So again, I'll ask you, how's this all going to pan out? We saw some interesting results in the sense that perhaps some of the sides at the top end of the table were, I guess, sort of peeled back a little bit in their games on the weekend. So perhaps that says something about some finals pressure getting to everyone in the last few weeks of the regular season.
Yeah, look, I think everyone's just, you've got to play your best netball every week. And, depending on who you've got available at the moment, there's some pretty nasty things going around, colds and flus and, COVID's still hanging in there. But look, I think the top six pretty settled. I don't think it's going to change much, but some of those positions on the ladder could change. So all of those top teams will still be wanting to play really well and get a win every weekend from now on.
Yeah, well said. We'll take a look at the round 16 fixtures. Holbrook entertaining Lockhart. Now, after Lockhart's performance on the weekend, I see this being nothing other than a Lockhart win. But who knows, Carla?
No, look, Lockhart and Holbrook always have some tough games. It's very competitive. But look, if Lockhart can play, as you said, like they played on the weekend, they should just take those 4 points quite easily, I think.
Osborne will host the Giants. Who's your tip here? The Giants, I guess, still in a position where they can influence results, but you would assume that this is a foregone conclusion, wouldn't you, Carla?
I think Osborne will win. I think Osborne are probably going to have to get themselves settled and refocused, and I think they'll come away with a big win on the weekend.
As simple as that. As should this one be. Calcan travelling to Henty. Life doesn't get any easier for the Henty girls, unfortunately, so this should be a pretty straightforward one for Calcan.
Yeah, look, Calcan should come away with the win, but, full credit to Henty. It's really hard to front up every week, and the girls seem to be taking it on board, going out there and trying to work on some individual goals to improve themselves. And, look, it'll take a few years, but, I think, they keep trying each week and going out there. But I think Colcan, they'll have it measured up on the weekend.
I'm tipping a close one between CDHBU and the Saints. What do you reckon, Power or Saints, Carla?
That's an interesting one. That's probably be one of the closest games. But I think Saints. they might just have a little bit of an upper edge over the Power.
Now, can Howlong, who are sitting in fourth place, and they really could do with the win here to make things not only interesting for everyone else, but really give themselves a great chance to secure finals early on. They're going to play Jindera. It's going to be, on paper, a big challenge, but with the nature of Jindera's results in recent times, Carla, it might not be that big of a straightforward sort of clash, this one. I think Howlong might be in with a sort of outsider's chance. What do you reckon?
Yeah, well, they could be, because they played beautifully against Lockhart a few weeks ago, and they had a really good 9-goal win. So, I think it's going to come down to the team that starts off really strong. And keeps up that pressure for the whole game and converts any intercepts or any mistakes made by the other team. It'll be up to those. Yeah, if you make a mistake, you would hope that you get a goal from that. So I'm tipping Jinderoo just on their form, because I know, they're both really good teams, but Jinderoo has just, when they really put their foot down, they can really slow down the court. They're very quick, but how long, if they can play like they did a few weeks ago, and even how they played against Osborne, it's going to make for a very interesting game.
Yeah, it could be a spicy affair. Now, I feel as though we could have an upset on our cards in this game. Billabong Crows versus Murray Magpies. What do you reckon?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I think the Crows are, they're determined. I think they're the last premiers we had, and I know they are trying to, do back-to-back. So I think they'll put their foot down this weekend, and I think they'll take the 4 points.
Well, you're our resident expert, Carla Fletcher, but someone's going to keep you on your toes. I'm going to go with the opposition. It's great to catch up with you again, Carla. Lifting the lid on all things Hume Netball here on the Flow Friday Sports Show. Have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the netball action, and we'll speak to you next week.
Yeah, well, I hope it's not too wet, because it looks like we've got a bit of rain coming, so we'll see how we go. Thanks,